arise, O compatriots, Nigeria's come of age.
Hello, welcome. Nationalists and nationalism in Nigeria. Nationalists and nationalism in Nigeria. Nigerian nationalism ensures that Nigeria as a nation promotes the cultural unity of Nigerians, the people of the land, the cultural connection of the people to the land, in particular the Niger and the Benue rivers. Now, it first emerged in the 1920s under the influence of Herbert Macaulay. Herbert Macaulay is known as the founder and father of Nigerian nationalism. Now, it has to unite the Nigerian, the multiple background of the people. Like you have the three ethnic groups in Nigeria. They were able to unite to resist colonial rule, the Hausa, the Igbo, and the Yorubas. Okay, nationalists in the south were against indirect rule, calling it supporting the old-fashioned style. This sort of imprisoned the new educated elite. In the north, nationalists' sentiments were related to Islamic ideals, and the rules of the emirs was upheld by appeals to the Islamic legitimacy. Now, during the 1920s, Nigerians in the south began to form associations. You have Nigerian Union of Teachers, which was formed in 1931, the Nigerian Law Association, which brought together many Nigerian lawyers that had studied in Britain, and Nigerian Produce Traders Association, led by none other than Obafemi Awolowo. These associations became the center of educated people, allowing them to develop leadership skills and form a network. Nigerians in the urban cities also began to form ethnic and kinship organizations. Then the tributes collected from these kingdoms like Oyo, Benin, and Abeokuta were to become the British tax. Now, this divine rule of these rulers had come under internal challenge, and by the 1920s, the abilities for rulers to demand and collect tribute and tax was now diminishing. Now, a more direct approach was used to pop up the rulers and administer tax. The rulers have become employees of the colonial government and the integral part. They were no longer divine rulers. In the 1922, the Nigerian Natural Democratic Party, was founded, led by an activist, Herbert Macaulay, which we mentioned earlier. Herbert Macaulay is the father and the founder of Nigerian nationalism. So this party dominated until the 1938. They called for economic and educational development. You have the Nigerian National Democratic Party, actually dominated for a very long time. However, they were only popular in Lagos, where people already had experience with elective politics. Herbert Macaulay also raised political awareness through his newspaper called the Lagos Daily Newspaper. Henry Carr and other cohorts like Adeyemi Alakija. And then you have, they were confused by Macaulay's constant call for the masses to rise up and demand for the political right. After all, the masses were educated but couldn't appreciate its value. What were they going to do with political freedom? Now, in 1922, Clifford's Constitution provided Nigeria a chance to elect a handful of representatives, Now, there were 46 members on the council, 27 were appointed by government, 19 nominated non-officials, and 3 non-official members were to be elected from Lagos, and then the rest from Calabar. Now, young Nigerians studying abroad in places like Britain and America had Pan-African sense of nationalism. In Britain, they bonded with other Africans, They shared experiences of racism and they desired to see their people free of colonial rule. They formed groups with other African students when they were the most political conscious. Nigerians usually prefer to study in the USA instead of the UK, as the USA provided more opportunities to obtain master's and doctorate degrees, Also in the USA, contains a bigger black community and even bigger universities, black universities. And finally, the USA was seen as a land of democracy, where majority rule and democratic selections of leaders could be learned. Then you had Edward Albert. He was Prince of Wales. He was representing the Queen then. He was on his colony tour and had to include Nigeria as one of its best African countries. Now, he went to London and then led by the Nigerian Ladepo Alekija. In 1925, WASU, the West African Student Union, was founded in London and led by the Nigerian Ladepo Solanke. Their main goals was to establish hostels in London for West African students and promotions of issues relevant to West Africans through a newsletter called the West African Student Union, which is WASU. They spoke about issues like wanting self-government, criticism of colonial rule, claiming that it prevented the unshaking of progressive forces in Nigeria. Okay, then we have the European Christianity. In some cases, refused to allow the incorporation of local customs and practices. Now let's look at Nigerian nationalists. Okay, now we have a lot of nationalists that help to see about the nationalism in Nigeria. The first person is Sir Ahmadu Bello. Ahmadu Bello, he was the first and only premier of the northern part of Nigeria. Okay, we have Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe. He was the first president of Nigeria from 1963 to 1966. Okay, he was part of all the Nigerian nationalists that fought for Nigerian independence. He is popularly known as Zik. Then the next one is Fumilayo Ransom Kuti. This woman is a teacher. She was a teacher and fought for women's rights. Okay, she's the mother of a famous late musician Fela Anikulapo Kuti. She was a great female activist. Okay, they all fought for Nigerian nationalism. They fought for freedom for Nigeria, and they fought for women. The next nationalist on the list is Chief Anthony Enahoro. Chief Anthony Enahoro moved the motion for Nigerians' independence in 1957. Okay, after which Nigerian had its independence in 1960. All these men were great leaders that fought for Nigerian nationalism. The next is Chief Obafemi Awolowo. Okay, Chief Obafemi Awolowo was the premier of the western region of Nigeria, and he was the leader of the Produce Association of Nigeria. They all fought for the freedom of Nigeria from the colonial masters, and they saw to the progress of the unity that Nigerian craved for. Chief Abat Macaulay, he is the father and founder of Nigerian nationalism. He fought so much and saw to the fact that Nigerians accepted through his newspaper publication, through his various callings of Nigerians that were elites then from the foreign universities. He incorporated them and made sure they fought against the colonial rule. Then we have Sir Abubakar Tafawa Balewa. Sir Abubakar Tafawa Balewa was the first prime minister of Nigeria. Then you have Chief Taiwo Akinkunmi. He was the designer of Nigerian flag. Then Chief MKO Abiola, the winner of the annulled June 12 presidential election. These were the nationalist leaders of Nigeria, and they saw to Nigerians' freedom from colonial rule. Thanks for watching this video, and be good.